the Talented Magical Mommies Club.
Hi, this is Ariella Vaccarino, and welcome back to the Talented Magical Mommies Club, Ep.2 MOMS. I can't believe you came back. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited that I'm still doing this, and I'm proud of myself. I got to give myself the kudos because, I'm super busy mommying, and I am trying to find time to do these incredible things for myself to reawaken this magic and talent within myself. So I'm here, so I'm proud of myself, and I want to allow myself to say that because I want you to feel the same way about yourselves, because I'm hoping that these episodes are going to help you on the same journey I'm on, which is trying to unlock that talent and magic and figuring out what we can do with it and how to integrate it back into our lives. And also really needing to contemplate how we lost it along the way or how much we've kept it going, and to pay respect to that. So I'm excited to talk about something that I've done for myself, which I hope will inspire you. I've been feeling for a long time that I want to reawaken some of these abilities I have and live in them again. And, in my past, I was an opera singer. I was also an actress, mainly stage. I did a lot of Shakespeare. I did a lot of improv, comedy. I truly enjoy doing everything live theater involved. I was doing voiceover for a while. I sang on some movies. I had some success. Not huge success, but I had success. I was a working performer. And there's some things that I did as a job, and there were things that I did as hobbies. And one of the things that I did as a hobby years and years and years ago, I was taking classes in something called improv. And improv is a super fun, super scary acting game activity. So it's like acting without lines. You don't know what's going to happen next. You get put in situations where maybe they give you some sort of a theme, or they tell you who your character is, or they tell you the situation is, and you could be in a scene with other people and you just have to go. And it's one of my favorite things to do, or it was. They talk about being in the gray because you have no idea what's going to come next. And for me, that was just magic for me. And when I was young, I was involved taking courses at something called the Groundlings, which is like the best improv group I know of in Los Angeles. And a lot of the people who graduate from that and become part of their company become very famous, go on Saturday Night Live and are in films. I was just doing the coursework. And so you have to go up in their courses, and eventually you get asked to be at different levels. And then the dream is to get into the company. I never got into the company. I did go up 3 levels years ago, and it was something I was really enjoying. And then I got very busy and I let it go. And then I got married, and then I had kids, and I was not going to be driving out an hour to go take improv classes for myself. It costs money, and it's very indulgent. And, it would have seemed very indulgent to me when I'm considering prices of preschools for years, or making sure my kids can go to gymnastics. I got a lot of kids. I have to spread the money around. I don't really have the luxury of just taking fun classes because I feel like it, right? So for years, I took no classes. And this year, I told my husband, I said, I really have this calling. I want to do this again. It sounds like the scariest thing I could possibly do. I know I'm going to be the oldest in the class, but I want to do it. There's something that's trying to reawaken in me, and I feel like taking these improv classes is going to help me do that. My husband was really supportive about it. He told me to go ahead and do it. And I was scared to death. You literally have to audition to get into these classes, to the track that I was trying to get on. I actually, even though I have all this experience, was not even going to allow myself to do the audition. I was going to take the introductory classes that don't allow for an audition because I just didn't even want any pressure on myself. I was just going to I'm going to go and take an intro class with people who've never done it before. And I kept trying, but none of the classes were fitting into my schedule. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to do the audition to try and get in this level called basic, right? So I had to do this online audition. I thought I was going to die. I mean, I hadn't done something like that in so long. I've been preparing people for auditions as a teacher for years, but I haven't done anything where I'm on the spot. And so I went and I kind of talked myself out of being nervous, and I'm just going to do it. And I did it, and I got accepted into their basic level. And it was a very scary experience for me. And I noticed it was like a Zoom audition, and I don't know, maybe there was 15 people on there, and I was by far the oldest person on there. But, they said something, the teacher said something really nice about me. Said, oh, I guess we're doing characters, because I guess I went into a character, right? Which is, maybe that's level 2, right? And so it gave me a little bit of confidence, and I found out I got put into the, like the basic core track, which is the track that, I wanted to do. And so then I signed up for the class. It was an interesting experience because now I have these kids aging from 9 to 17, and I'm telling them about this. A mommy's going to take an improv comedy class. Well, what's improv? And I start to tell them, it's something I used to be really good at. It's really fun. And they were all excited. I'm going to go out to Hollywood once a week, and I'm going to take these classes. And they think I'm a comedian all of a sudden. It's funny how your kids see you. And they were all very supportive and excited and telling their friends I was going to do this thing. Like, it was this really big deal that, for me, it was a really big deal. So I went. I've been doing the classes now. I think I'm on week 9. So it's got to be 9 weeks, right? And I remember the first day I went, and it was crazy because I did it so many years ago that the building that the classes were in, where it was a new building that was across the street. I had gone to the old building. Like, that's how long ago it was. And I went, and I'm the oldest in the class by far. And it's about like 14 people in the class, most incredible teacher. And I did it. I was scared to death. I mean, I was so uncomfortable. I hated it, and I loved it at the same time. But I forced myself to do it. It's a long class. It's 3.5 hours. And I feel myself in that class, oftentimes looking at my watch to see, okay, I made it through half of it. Okay, I made it for 2/3 of it. It's weird because I love it, but it makes me so uncomfortable because it's something I haven't done in so long, but I know it's so good for me. So this is an amazing thing that I'm allowing myself to do for myself. And I'm bringing it up because I want you to think about in your own life, if there's something that you secretly want to do. Like, I'm dying to take a class in ceramics, or I just really want to take a ballet class, or I want to get into that graphic design club, or whatever it is. I'm making these things up. But if there's something you've been thinking about, like, because I was thinking for years, I was thinking about, like, gosh, I'd love to go back and do Groundlings improv classes. I don't know exactly what it's going to do for me. Before, I used to want to do it, and I wanted to be a groundling. Now I'm looking at it, it's just no way that's going to happen. Even if I ever get to that point and they offer it to me, I have no time for something like that as a mom. There's a practicality about my life right now, but I'm doing it, and I'm really proud of myself. And as a result of it, it kind of is forcing me. It's opening up. I've been opening up the Pandora's box. How we talked about, we've shoved this all down. We've shoved all these talents and dreams and fantasies down so we could mother our kids. And I'm trying to take a breath and look out and see, well, what is there for me out there that I enjoy to do? What do I like to do other than mother? Whether it is career driven or for joy or for just to fill my cup of creativity. And that's what I feel like the groundling class is doing. It's waking me up. And that was the first of things I began doing. I started the Groundlings class. I didn't know. I kept telling my kids, I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. Or any of my mommy friends, they were so excited for me. They're like, I can't believe you're doing it. And it's funny because, I'm like living in the suburbs now. And my mommy friends, I'm sitting in basketball and I'm telling them I'm doing this Groundlings thing, and they all have this look in their eyes of like, oh my gosh, you're doing that? And I can see it's that thing that makes me want to do this podcast. I see in their eyes there's something they want to do too. And I'm starting to do the thing, and I'm doing this improv class, and it's waking up this part of me. And, I don't know if you've seen a picture of me, but I also have this kind of crazy hair now. And this is kind of a side note, but, for the longest time, my whole life I've been a brunette, and I started getting some gray hairs, and I'm a pretty au natural type of person. I barely wear makeup. And I mean, maybe you'll see me in makeup if we have an event because, but on a regular daily basis, I rarely wear makeup. I'm very kind of granola-ish, not super, but, vegetarian and kind of natural person. But, not that being a vegetarian has anything to do with makeup. That's a weird thing to talk about. But for the longest time, I was struggling. I mean, for years with I was starting to get gray hairs. I was looking washed out, but it wasn't super gray, but I didn't want this commitment. I'm not this high maintenance. I didn't want to be going to dye my hair every month. And then one day I went, and I'm like so low maintenance that I get my hair cut at Supercuts. Like that's how, let's talk about the low maintenance of me, because I have really nice hair and it's kind of wavy, and no matter what you do, it looks good because it's long, right? So there was this woman at Supercuts, and she's going to laugh if she hears this. And she had the coolest hair. She had this long curl, like wavy black hair. And she had this like hot purple streak section of hair and just the front side of her hair. And it was almost a glowing purple. And I saw her and I was like, I love your hair. Can you do that to me? But, make it red. And she's like, sure. So I came home with this crazy hair. You should have seen the look when I walked in to pick my kids up at school that day. And I walked on campus. They had the craziest looks on their faces. And, they had these big smiles. Like they were so proud I was their mom because I had this super cool hair. But I felt like that was also the beginning of it. It's like I felt like, and it's crazy because it's just my hair, but I started to feel like that burst of color that was coming out from my normal brown hair. That burst of color is kind of who I am inside. There's a burst of me that's this creative person that people don't know about. And I guess people do know, but I don't always feel like I'm living it. And that hair for me, some simple symbolic thing like that, it just felt like, oh, okay, so now I'm showing who I am. This is another slice of who I am. I'm not just out of a box. I'm a kind of a creative person who is trying to live a normal life, doing normal things, getting groceries, taking care of my kids, but I'm like bursting with art inside of me. And my hair reflects that, which is great. But it's the same thing, my hair. So the reason I'm saying it is when I first did my hair, I was getting the reaction from all the mommies, just like the reaction I'm getting when I'm telling them I'm taking these improv classes. It's this look of, I've always wanted to do something like that to my hair. Like, I can't believe you did that to your hair. That's so cool. I've always wanted to do something like that. Or the same thing with the improv classes. I can't believe you're taking those classes. What is it like? How is it to be out there? Oh, I've always wanted to do this other thing. And it's that thing. And that's the thing that this keeps waking up in me. Like, I'm looking at all these mommies and I have this desire to help them figure out, what is it that you want to do? How can we get you to do the thing you want to do? What excites you? Because we're coming back to the teacher and me, and my instinct is always like, can I help you get the best thing out of yourself? And this is all what has been the impact to get me to this point where I'm starting the Talented Magical Mommies Club. And this fantasy in my head of where it might go and where we might end up together on this. But so I just wanted to share you what I'm doing with these improv classes. And so then I'm doing the improv classes. I'm going once a week. I'm doing well in the class. It's some things I'm really good at. Some things are harder for me, but I'm doing it. And the people in the class are so kind to me and they're very respectful to me. And I'm really proud of myself for it. And I feel like after this class is done, it's like a 12-week class. Will I continue? I have to decide. I have to decide what it's doing for me and what I want to do next. But, also as a result, I thought it was so fun that I actually started a group improv class for kids. And I'm really enjoying that because I like to teach and I'm enjoying bringing that crazy improv magic to these kids because a lot of them don't know about this kind of thing. And I do highly recommend improv for people who are just trying to kind of peel back some layers and get to themselves. I think it helps with anybody. I mean, anybody to feel comfortable in life. You do not have to be an actor to do it. It's just going to make you more comfortable in your own skin. So I just wanted to tell you something I'm doing for myself. My point of this episode is just to let you know that I took a bit of a leap to do that groundlings class. And I know we all have these things inside of us we've been thinking about doing for a long time. And I have a lot of things, all right? This was just one of my things. And what would happen if you actually did one of those things? Like, what would happen if you took that course or you wrote that book or you stood up and you sang that thing? Like, what would happen? Probably only good would happen. And I want to help you with this podcast and whatever events I end up doing and running. I want to help you unlock it. I want us to find out what makes us feel alive. I want us to pay respect to our talents, and I want us to be proud of who we are and let ourselves shine. That's what I'm doing with this improv class, and that's what I'm hopefully doing with these podcasts. And if I start to have live events and I start to have seminars where I'm getting a whole bunch of mommies in a room and we are doing all kinds of crazy, fun, creative activities that is just for us, not for our kids, taking a moment and giving yourself and your talent some time so you can shine yourself, that would just be the best thing. And you can hear it in my voice. I have a passion for this and I want to unlock it. And my groundlings class and my hair and my new journal that I bought myself that I talked about in the last episode, all these things are to help unlock this thing inside of me that I'm dying to do. And it involves you. It involves helping you figure out how you can be a talented magical mommy yourself. So, thanks for listening. I can't wait till episode 3. Who knows what it's going to be about, but I am going to have a lot of interviews coming up. So it may be an interview. We'll find out. Bye-bye.
The Talented Magical